This is a clip from the Chris Brake Show podcast.
I thought of a story that happened to me when Joel was telling his story. Do you want me to tell it?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I might regret saying that.
It's a quick story. It's
30 seconds or less.
Well, I don't know about that. We'll try to keep it down. It was a car accident. It was a 3-car pileup that I caused, and I wasn't even in the car at the time. Like, yeah. I told you about this when it happened, but my truck broke down because I was out of gas, and this cop pulls up behind me, and he's like, "Hey, I'll help you push your car over to the side of the road, so you're not in the middle of this intersection." So we're pushing the truck, and we get and I'm on the steering wheel, pushing and steering, and he's behind the truck pushing. And so once we get it going fast enough, he's like, "Okay, hop in, hop in." And it's already going fast enough, and I don't know, like I tried to jump in, but I didn't make it, so I fell on the ground. And the car, so the truck is going fast enough for me to not be able to jump into it. And it's and then I stand up and see my truck just driving away from me, There's nobody in it, the door is open. And then all of a sudden it hits one car, just boom. And I hear some lady go, "What the hell, man?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then it went on to hit another car, boom. And then somehow I hit a third car and then crashed into a tree. And then some good old boy that lived at the house ran out, and he's like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" And I was like, "I'm sorry." And he jumped in it and kind of helped. Oh, he stopped it with his hands on the hood, like superhero status. Like he was just put his hands out in front of the hood and stop you. And so yeah, that was my story. The cop had a hard time believing that I wasn't drunk.
Yeah, I was going to say, did he give you a field sobriety test after that?
He should have. He didn't. I told him, I was like, "Yeah, I fell down, man. I'm sorry." And he was like, "Oh, the other guy was saying he might have been drunk." And I showed him my knee, and that was good enough for him. But
your knee that was all scraped up?
Yeah, scraped up knee. I was like, "I'm not drunk." I said, "Yeah, I fell." But the officer was really cool. I've seen him around town a few times since then. I always waved to him, and he kind of looks the other way. So that was my 3-car pileup story.
That's one of the craziest car, and you got a lot of crazy car stories.
That was the most recent one. I can remember most of the details of that.
How
one.
recent was that?
Probably like last month, a couple months ago. Yeah. It was fun explaining it to the insurance company.
Oh my God.
I remember driving the tourist down that big hill at Skatopia. Segway.
Oh, are we segueing?
I don't know. It could be one.
I thought we were going to go into the show.
Yeah, we should.
Oh, Skatopia.
Hold that segue for later.
We'll go into Skatopia later and talk about that.
But they had that big hill, though, and it was like...
They did have a big hill.
And we totally drove the tourists down it, and Dale was like, "Oh, you're not going to make it back up this hill, turn." And he was like telling me how to drive and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're yelling out the window the band name. You can maybe bleep it out. Blah, blah, rules, yeah!
Screaming out the band name while we're causing all sorts of ruckus.
Yeah, people were cheering. They're like, "Yeah!" After we made it, because I guess it didn't look like we were going to make it. Like, we're in this little four-door sedan or whatnot. There's no way it's going to make it down this rugged,
For those of you who don't know, Skatopia is it's like a punk commune. It's a skate park. Skatopia is a skate park.
Yeah.
And they had a Rolling Stone article that kind of summed it up. It's called 88 Acres of Anarchy. And
Bruce Martin's the owner. He owns it.
Yeah, he's a professional skateboarder, right?
I think so.
Yeah. CIA.
Yeah, Citizens Instigating Anarchy. The CIA team. Give a big shout out to those guys. Give a big shout out to Bruce Martin for having our band there. That was really cool.
Yeah, but it's like there's this giant hill that you have to go up.
Yeah, there's a few of them, but yeah.
You have to go all the way up. Yeah, a lot of bands, they won't.
They don't even take the tour bus in there. Green Jello brought the tour bus in there. They was like the only band ever to do that.
And you can't get big. They can't get big bands because
big bands won't play there
until they pave it.
Yeah, until they pave it, it's all gravel and just haggard. It's totally
and mud, and it rains, and then you're pretty much screwed. And when you're going up that hill, you see cars all the time. Like you'll see a group of dudes with their back wheels in the air.
Yep,
and they're just spinning. And they got a rear wheel drive car, and it's like, what the hell are they gonna do? And there's like people sitting on it trying to get it down.
They have a truck there with a Big Bear or whatever that just that's what he does. He goes and pulls people out of the mud.
It's not all he does.
He doesn't like to do that though. He definitely gives you the riot act.
Yeah, he tells you you're an idiot. Yeah. What the hell are you doing bringing this piece of shit up here? You know you can't come up this hill.
But the 4-door Taurus made it up and down the hill. I don't know how.
Yeah. That was our spot. We camped at the top of the hill, but you have to have the car there to block your tent, so that no maniac comes and runs over you in the middle of the night.
That was an experience.
It was. But,
out there in Amish country.
It was Amish country.
In the backwoods.
Rutland, Ohio. They said,
Rutland,
what is it, 70% of the population of Rutland, Ohio is on welfare?
Yeah, it's definitely a broken down town.
Yeah, I want to say real quick before I start the show. The show hasn't even started yet. Before I start the show, I would like to say that I really wanted to tell a story about you and your 3-car pileup. Those damn trucks with the stick, man. They cause all sorts of problems. Because one time I was in
my truck was a stick. I forgot to mention that. Yeah,
yeah. And I had a truck just like that at one point.
The Bone Mobile.
The Bone Mobile, and that thing, it was a GMC Gypsy. And the back of it was like an S10. Like it had 3 different pieces on it that made it up. Like it was in the windshield. Like the whole thing was wired by somebody before I bought it. I got the thing for $600, and
it had some crazy custom wiring.
Oh yeah, it would shock you. Like everything, like pieces, like any mechanics were just hanging off, and they would shock you if you touched them. But if like the windshield wiper knob was just hanging off, and there'd be a little toggle switch that the prior owner had installed.
They put a Jack Rooney
top. Yeah, so you'd have to flip this switch to turn the windshield wipers on. They were either on or off, and you turn them off, they would stop right in the middle. But the point is, I got this truck, and I had to go to get fired from a job.
You had to go get fired.
Yeah, I had to go in for this little meeting, at a major corporation. Excuse me. And as I'm in the process of, getting fired and, being told my options, somebody comes in and says, "Do you own that crazy truck out there with the skull all over it and stuff?"
They already know that you do.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, it just rolled backwards and hit another vehicle
in the company parking lot.
It hit another vehicle. Yeah. So as this asshole's looking at me, firing me. Yeah, this son of a bitch is firing me, and he's so happy. And and I'm like, so as I'm getting fired, I got in a car accident at the same time.
That would have been great if it hit the manager's
that would
car.
Have been. He wanted to fuck me so bad, dude. He was out there examining, looking for the tiniest scratch he could find.
To try to get you on some trumped up charges?
Yeah, just so he could just throw a little more shit on my lap,
What a jerk.
Yeah, that guy was a genuine prick. Is it okay to say his name?
I don't. Yeah,
his name was Ted Bell, and that guy treated me. And I'm not going to say I was a perfect employee, and I'm not even going to say what company I worked for, but that guy Ted Bell treated me with so much disrespect.
Really?
So much disrespect. And I mean, I know that I wasn't the perfect employee, and I know that he laid down the disrespect before I lifted my respect.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You got to give it to get it.
Yeah, and I was given enough respect, and he was just treating me like shit.
He was supposed to be the mediator, conflict mediator. Like, if you have a problem with your boss, you go talk to Ted. That's what I remember. Yeah, because I talked to him quite a few times.
That guy was a world-class prick, dude.
He definitely ended up firing me as well.
Yeah. Oh, that guy fired you too?
He was there when I got fired. Yeah, I tried to appeal the decision. I was like, Ted, they're doing me all wrong, and he was like, no, there's nothing I can do.
You know what? We're supposed to be on this India in tune.
Oh yeah, the India
not Indian, not like not Indian tune. Indie in tune.
Indie space.
Yeah,
in tune.
Yeah, a real cool.
Okay.
Yeah, real cool podcast out of Indianapolis here. And it's 20. They do 24/7 live, radio on the internet. And it's all local.
Wow, I've heard of this.
Yeah, and they want to put our show on there, but the guy hasn't listened to it yet. He's going to listen to it, and I'm sure when he listens to it, he's going to be like, "You can't say Ted Bell's name." As much of an asshole as that guy might be, he might end up being the guy's neighbor.
Well, there's 1,000 Ted Bells out there. I'm talking about the Ted Bell from Taco Grande that I used to work at.
Yeah, short little fucker. That guy. I'll tell you right now, I have a lot of bosses, and some are bad, some are amazing. And the guy that worked under him was one of the most amazing bosses I've ever had. Unfortunately, I'm not going to say his name to give him credit.
Why not? That would also kind of expose who maybe Ted Bell is.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, the best boss I ever had. There
was that one lady that smelled like vinegar.
Oh, God. She was nice, too. But that Ted Bell was a piece of shit, man. And this is why you have these forums, so you can say things like this, you know?
That's true. It's freedom of speech.
And I'm not saying that he was wrong. I'm not trying to get him in trouble. I'm just saying that guy's an asshole, man. If he's going to continue to live his life like that, he's not going to get anywhere good.
Not in the workplace, you know?
Yeah, and I don't know how you approach these things, you know? Is Indian Tune going to... Indie in tune.
They might have to censor the CBS.
Yeah, or he might ask us to, which is fine with me. You ask me to do whatever, I'll censor myself. You're going to play me 24/7. Wait, no, he's not going to play us 24/7.
He's going to put us on his 24/7 radio broadcast.
Yeah.
In between all the other great slices of radio.
Yeah, the brew, indie beer, indie local, man.
The indie brew.
Free beer. The free beer brew podcast.
Those are good guys.
No, they are. I mean, they're decent, but that doesn't look. They're cool. Indie in tune is cool. Ted Bell's a fucking prick. Bruce Martin's cool. John Rapp's cool. Sexy Sarah, that's another issue. But just joking.
Well, Sarah's suffering from exhaustion. Remember,
she doesn't listen to these shows anyway.
Yeah, no, she doesn't. She doesn't. If you want to call in and say something about Sarah, she won't ever hear it. She doesn't listen to our own show. You said you're like, anytime you hear about like Eminem in the news or anybody say they got to quit tour or whatever because of exhaustion, yeah, that means drug addiction, drug abuse, painkillers, some type of drug abuse. So I wonder if Sexy Sarah is actually out on some Quaaludes.
No, I think she's just working her fingers to the bone.
Doing what?
Going to school and working.
One day a week?
No, she's.
I thought you said she went to school one day a week.
Physically, but she's taking 3 classes. Yeah, no, she's got a lot on her plate. Proverbial plate. I don't. Hey. Everything's longer today. Oh, all right. It's time for a break. And when we come back, we got all sorts of...
We got some prank calls, hopefully.
We got a whole bunch of unplanned awesomeness for you. I think these unplanned shows go better than the planned ones.
They usually do.
From the Chris Brake Show podcast.